Good morning, everybody. Today is October 26th. It is the last week of October. Saturday is Halloween. Not sure how many of you guys are excited about Halloween. I'm not a huge fan of Halloween, to be honest. Um, but it's fun for my kids, so I guess that's why we do it, right? Anyway, I hope we have a great week this week. I hope that everybody's healthy and happy and all that good stuff. Um, okay, so we're gonna. The other day on Thursday, we didn't do a video and we didn't do anything extra in the book. Hopefully, that gave you guys a chance to turn a few things in. It looked like I had a few things come through, and I appreciated that. So, good job. If you guys, as you go to your grades in Canvas, if there's ever a zero or a missing score, you can always turn that in to me with uh, no consequences or no. It can be for full credit. Okay, I just want you guys to do it and learn this material. Okay. Um, Once again, those of you here in class and also at home, and for everybody, please make sure that you're getting the time in on the computer. Um, Here in class, we need to do a good job of making transitions when we go from one thing to the next. We don't need to waste 5 minutes in between. We just need to get to it. Okay, so going from independent reading to student application, things like that. So just make sure we're moving along. Okay. Um, all right. So today your do now will be some of our schools. Actually, we've done this one, right? Some of our schools' resources are used to pay for blank. Okay, and I got those into a do now. So there will be no do now. Your do now will be your weekend. Okay, so write about your weekend. Okay, please write a few sentences. Don't just write, I slept all weekend. Okay, I know you did more than that. Okay, be specific. My goal for having you write is to be specific and write with detail. Okay, so write 3 or 4 sentences about what you did over the weekend. That will be worth 3 or 4 points. And then a goal for outside of school. So maybe it could be practicing basketball. It could be going hunting if you're going hunting. It could be hanging out with a certain friend. Whatever. And then an in-school goal. Okay, and a lot of you are very, very vague with your in-school goal. Okay, make sure that you put something specific, such as um, I want to get my grade up in math by retaking a test on unit rates. Okay, be specific with it. Don't just say I want to do good. Okay, I get a lot of that. So I know you want to do good, but be specific with it, please. Okay. All right, for today, we're going to start the story of a child slave. So first thing we need to do is we need to look at the academic vocabulary. First word is desperate. Okay, how many of you guys have heard the word desperate before? Okay, this is going to be in paragraph 7. It says, let's go ahead and read it. Okay, paragraph 7. James was desperate to escape. He tried several times, but he was always caught and beaten. Okay, so desperate means to filled with a great need for something to happen, filled with a great desire for something to happen. Okay, I kind of like the desire because when you're desperate, that's a desire within you, right? Okay, it's something you're yearning for, something you're striving for. Filled with a great desire for something to happen. Okay, what is one desperate need that many students in your school have? Many students in our school have a desperate need to obtain better blank in order to blank. Okay? I want you guys to fill that out, turn that in. Okay, struggle. This is in paragraph 2. Like many local people, they struggled to support their family. Okay? So to struggle is like to try very hard to succeed, even though it is very hard. Okay, to try very hard to succeed, even though it is very hard. Okay, that's a struggle, right? Okay, sometimes math is a struggle. Sometimes just getting to school is a struggle. Sometimes taking care of our health is a struggle. Sometimes exercising is a struggle. Okay. All right. We're gonna go ahead and read this story of a child slave. I'll read it. Read it out loud. I want you to follow along. Slavery is the practice of owning other people and forcing them to work for no pay. 27 million people around the world today are enslaved. Many are children. They work long hours at jobs that are difficult, dirty, and sometimes deadly. It was 3 a.m., time for James Coffee Annan to get up. James, just 6 years old, worked on a fishing boat. His workday began every morning at 3 o'clock and did not finish until 8 o'clock at night. In between, he might be fed one meal. He might go hungry all day. He might get yelled at, beaten, or thrown into the lake. James was not paid for his labor. He was a child slave. James was born in Ghana, a country in West Africa, in 1975. His parents named him after an important local man. James was the youngest of 12 children. His parents hadn't gone to school and couldn't read or write. Like many local people, they struggled to support their family. When James was 6, 3 men visited his village several times. They wore expensive-looking clothes and shoes. Each time they left the village, they took local children with them. It's a red flag right there, right? People said the men were helping the children. They said the men gave the children food and clothing and provided them with an education. One day, the men took James with them. James soon learned that the rumors about the men were false. The men weren't going to send James to school. They were fishermen, and James' father had sold James to them. James was now a child slave. James worked on Ghana's Lake Volta for 7 years. He helped the men fish. The work was difficult and dangerous. James became sick many times, yet he was never taken to a doctor. If a fishing net got stuck underwater, a boy had to dive to free it. The water was dirty and deep. A few boys panicked and drowned. James was desperate to escape. He tried several times but was always caught and beaten. When James was 13, he received sad news from home. The important man he was named after had died. The fishermen let James return to his village for the funeral. James never returned to work. He had finally escaped slavery. His father feared the fishermen would come after him for the money they had paid. Still, James refused to return to slavery. He was a teenager now. He had no money, no job, no clothes. He was illiterate. You guys know what illiterate means? It means that they are unable to read. Wasn't that one of our vocab words? But James had his freedom, and he planned to use it wisely. First, he would attend school to get an education. Then he would get a job. Once he had obtained an education, money, and experience, he would use those resources to help other children. Okay, so don't worry about page 55 today. We'll turn that one in tomorrow. Okay. This is so this guy was born in 1975. So he is he's 8 years older than I am. Okay, so I don't consider myself too old. I mean, I'm getting up there, but so this tells me that slavery, we think of slavery and we think of slavery back in the 1800s here in our own country. Okay, but there is obviously, as we have read right here, slavery that is still going on today. Okay, and this guy is kind of a testament to that. There are people who use what they have to go and take advantage of people who don't have what they have, and that's a scary thing. And you know what? I think we even have that within our own country today. And it's a scary thing. Something we need to be aware of and watchful for. Okay, so your assignment today, guys, page 54, the 2 vocab words, and then jump on. I need you to do 20 minutes independent reading, 20-minute student application. We really should start to be getting through some more zones. Okay, so try to be getting through some zones and in the student application, get through there, do a good job with it. Okay, guys, have a great Monday. Take care.